Here's another one for you guys. Did you know that the story of Adam and Eve is the story of an actual atom? Atom atom. When you take an atom and you split it in half, you get another atom. Hence why they said that Eve came from Adam's rib. They personified the story of an atom. That's why when they split Adam in half, basically through the rib, Eve came out of there. See, the stories in the Bible, like the Bible is an amazing book of knowledge and wisdom if you know how to decipher it. You know what I mean? But if you don't know how to decipher it, you need to stay away from that book, because then you're going to think you have all the answers. You're going to be like, no, it's all there. It's all written there. And I have all the answers. You can't tell me anything. And we know as humans that he who thinks he knows it all is the one that least knows. And us chosen ones, we don't claim to know it all. As a matter of fact, speaking of that same story of Adam and Eve, just recently a friend of mine sends me a video, right? And it's talking about Adam and Eve. And it says in that video, says a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm gonna just take what I took from it. It says that Adam and Eve weren't the first humans. They were actually just the first humans with a conscience. You know what I mean? It gets deeper about the Anunnaki, this, that, and the third. But they were actually the first humans with a conscience, right? There were actually other humans here, like Neanderthals and other, type of humans. And so I'm like, that actually makes sense to something that I was looking up, that I saw recently in the Bible when I went back to it. And so I went back to it just to make sure. And in Genesis, it says, God made human. It says, let us make men in our image. And so he created men. Then he proceeds to talk about how he created Adam and Eve. So when you think about it and you go back, it's like, wow, so he did there were men here before Adam and Eve, because he says so in the Bible. Let us make man in our image, meaning that's when he made man, but they probably didn't have a conscience. They weren't that bright, which is what that video that Joby sent me was probably speaking about. And it made total sense. So we're still learning. It's like we're not hard-headed. We have an open mind. We're willing to keep learning. Like, the Bible's a great book if you're into hip-hop and you know how to break down metaphors and similes. Great book for you. Or movies, TV shows, and poetry, where you know how to look at the deeper meaning behind what's being presented to you. It's a great book for you. But if you're still reading at a Dr. Seuss level, you need to stay away from that book, because you're going to claim to know it all. And unfortunately, the majority of the world still reads at that type of level. The majority. And you know what's even crazy? The people that make laws, the people in Congress, the people all over the world that work in politics, like 99% of them believe the book that should be interpreted in the literal sense. And these guys that are making laws for the rest of us are the ones that are in charge. And that should be very, very disturbing to you chosen ones.